What's up, guys? It's Opex again. I'm just staring up at the sky, looking at all the new fresh chemtrails, and I've noticed them for a while. See all that haze in the sky? Not one of those is a real cloud. That's all the haze, and they just, as you can see, on the right above the sun, there's two fresh trails right there. Now, you can't see the whole sky exactly on this camera, but the whole sky is covered in haze. And right there by the sun, I just witnessed them turning on the chemtrail and turning it off right next to each other. And what bothers me is that they do this every day, and they're blatant about it. They're so blatant about these chemtrails. And there's another one below it, like going toward the sun right now, but you can't see it on the camera. So, it's about time. Let's talk about it. Chemtrails. What the hell? I was going to do a video a while ago on this. Not actually a while ago, probably like 3 days ago. I was looking at the sky and I was watching the chemtrails. I actually got to have my glasses on because the sun's actually a little bright. So, it bothers me, right? It really, truly bothers me that this is going on and they're so blatant about it and nobody does anything about it. I'm not necessarily here to tell you what it is, what they're doing, who, what, when, where, how, why, all the mumbo jumbo like that, which is all important questions, but I'm not here to answer that for you. I'm just here to show you it, all right? I'm seeing these trails. What they do is they put one trail right like that, right next to all the other haze that took form after the last day or so, and before that totally runs out, they still want to use it, and they want to make it bigger. So then they'll put one more trail, and then what they do is they put the trail like this, then right next to it, another trail. It's not awkward and like all out and, at another part of the sky. They put it right on top of each other, almost. As you saw in the picture that I just showed you. I'll show you again. See those trails? When you look up in the sky and you're starting to see that they always put the trails right side by side to each other, when they expand in a few hours, they're going to become one. And it's just going to turn into a haze. And it's already, like, in the last 15 minutes, these trails have gotten huge. They've gotten much bigger. Much, much bigger. And it's going to turn into a whole hazy sky. Just a few of these chemtrails. They'll put like 5 or 6 together of those trails, and in due time they just get bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's right in front of our freaking eyes. But when I look up, I point it into the sky and say, "What is that?" And somebody says condensation, I'll be like, "No. Look at this part. That's condensation. You see that shit that's evaporating? That's the condensation. The shit that they spray right on top of each other, right there diagonally, and when they get to the end of one trail, like this trail is already done, they'll put a trail just like this and stop it when the other one stopped. And they do that on purpose. They don't have to keep going for miles and miles in the sky. Once they get their job done, that's it. That's what they do. And all the rest that you see that evaporates is just condensation, obviously. Or it could be just different chemicals, I don't know. But it's clearly chemicals. It's clearly nothing natural. Now, when they're doing this, you got to ask yourself, why, right? Why are they doing it? They're making the whole sky cloudy, and they're making it so freaking disastrous in the sky, where partly cloudy nowadays isn't just a few clouds. Partly cloudy is just a bunch of chemtrails and maybe a couple real clouds. And it becomes that haze, and it bothers me so much. It truly bothers me a lot that they're destroying our sky. When I was a child, don't get me wrong, there was chemtrails 20, 30 years ago. There was. But not like today. Today, they just went into hyperdrive. Like, everyone's asleep. No one's stopping us. No one's even pointing it out. And when you put it on the internet, all of a sudden you'll have real trolls, like real people that go behind the computer and feed you like, oh, you're wearing a tinfoil hat, you're fucking crazy. And then there's those real paid trolls that are like from the government or free agents of the government, where they are actually paid to stop this shit and to just make you out to be like a moron or like an idiot. Now, there's a lot of people on YouTube that just... The YouTube community's weird when it comes to the conspiracy theory section, I would say. Because in the conspiracy theory section, you'll have somebody talking real shit about chemtrails and then just be like, you know, just say the most crazy shit ever that no one's going to believe about the chemtrails, or have other videos that just are unreliable and no facts and stuff. And it just destroys all their credibility. And what they're trying to tell you is about the chemtrails, but you think, well, he was talking about reptilian shapeshifters before. It lost all its credibility. But I like conspiracies because almost 100% of the time, in fact, I'm going to change it up. In 100% of the cases, in everything that you've ever seen on the internet, in real life, there's at least a tiny portion of it that's 100% true. At least a tiny bit of portion that's true. In any conspiracy theory, in any one of them, there's a part in it that you got that was true. And you might have believed that the whole thing's true, and who knows, some of them might be fully true. Chemtrails are something you fucking see with your eyes, and as a fisherman, back when I used to fish for years, I was staring at these things every day. I'm just staring at it. Whoever's fishing with me or around me, I'd be like, see those? Check them out for like another hour. Tell me what you see. Just 1 hour. How about even 15 minutes? Look at these fucking things. They've expanded so much in 15 minutes. I'm going to explain to you why it bothers me. A, they're obviously polluting the atmosphere. Polluting the atmosphere was never a good thing in my eyes. There's just so many bad things with chemtrails. I don't even know where to begin with that. That's why I don't even want to talk about it. And I just want to say, do it yourself. Do me a favor. Go outside, and when you see a big, long trail behind a plane, and it's not evaporating, check it out for a little bit. Because if you're seeing the first trail in the sky, stay out there another 15-20 minutes. There's going to be another trail coming. There's going to be another plane going right side by side, probably 3 miles east of that trail, perpendicular, or is that the right word? Parallel to the other plane, and you'll see it all day long. All day long. And the funny thing is, you'll see some days like on holidays and stuff, or like the 4th of July, they won't even do it. They won't do it because everyone's looking up in the sky. They won't do it on those days. It's funny because I've watched it, and yes, I sound crazy because I pay attention to shit. I don't have a girlfriend, so yeah, this stuff is, you know, the interest of me right now, and it has been for years. So, God, it's so bothersome that the sky is just one big haze. When I was a kid, you know what color the sky was? Blue. I remember it. Sometimes I look on the internet, and I seriously do this sometimes. Not like often, but like twice a year or something. I'll look up on Google blue skies from like the 1980s or something. And I'll look up a picture on Google, and I'll see a picture of blue. Like a blue sky. Not this white shit. This like light blue, white skies. Man. The blue thing was just so beautiful when I was a child, and now I haven't seen a truly blue sky. Like, if you look up right now, you'll see the bluest part of the sky, and it's not even deep blue or anything. What it is this light blue. It's light. It's not even medium blue. And when I was a child, I remember a deep blue. Remember that? Anyone remember that? Anyone over the age of 20 remember that shit? I remember that. I remember that. My kids aren't ever going to see that unless we do something and we unpollute it. I mean, God damn, man, it pisses me off. And I think the reason it pisses me off is because they're doing it, and the few people that are talking about it get shunned, and nobody's looking like, hey, look at that. And I mean, we're so ADD, going computer to television to video game to cell phone to, you know, we're just so OCD, ADD bullshit right now that we can't just go outside and look up for 10 minutes. 10 minutes. Albert Einstein said, a way to understand life and to understand everything there is to understand is to go outside to nature. There's a reason for that. And I hope you realize that you can observe things and then all of a sudden get a full understanding, like, I understand now, whatever it is. And like I said, all the times I see these chemtrails, man, people always thought I was nuts. My brother thought I was nuts. My family thought I was nuts. Until, you know, one day my brother finally got it. Like, hit him somehow. Like, dude, chemtrails? Pfft, come on, man. And I'll be like, dude, go fishing with me. You know, obviously I wouldn't be like, go fishing with me, let's look at chemtrails. But like, hey, let's go fishing someday. And we'll go fishing. And we went fishing. And I was like, okay, see this? You don't have to just stare at it for 10 minutes. Just fish, look at it how it looks now. And in about 10 minutes, look up at it again. Tell me what you think. And then about another 10 minutes, tell me again. What do you think? Oh, it's expanding? Oh, what's going on? The whole sky's a haze now? 5-6 hours later, there's 3 more chemtrails, 5 more planes, 10 more planes, all spitting out this shit and made a huge haze in the sky that's clearly blocking out the sun, clearly, I mean, do you like the smog over China? This is somewhat, you know, harmful for the whole world. You know what I mean? At least smog will dissipate eventually. This shit, they just keep fucking throwing it into the sky. Like I said, there's a lot of harmful effects from it. A lot of people believe that after it rains through the chemtrails, through the chemical haze, when it rains, when obviously there's some real clouds that hold the rain. I'm not exactly sure if this can hold the rain very well. But when it rains through it, people get sick. I mean, we can speculate all day what's in them. You know, barium, aluminum, viruses, bacteria. I mean, who knows what they're actually throwing in there? And then what's going to happen? Do you think it's always just going to linger in the sky? No, it has to come down. I mean, it's summer, and I still see trees without leaves on them. They're not dead. They're dead-ish. They can't thrive like they could. I mean, half the trees are dead now. Scientists, after it rains and stuff, they'll take samples from the water, or from the land after it rains. Like in California, they were doing samples, basically. And they found that, you know, when it was clearly the chemical haze, when they picked up those samples out of the ground, there was tons of barium in it, and, you know, aluminum, which are harmful towards plants, let alone us. I mean, how many times have you loved to just aluminum? It's good. I mean, why would... I'm not even going to get into that. But I do want to explain to you that we'll use your eyes, do these simple things. Look in the sky, see a trail, just pay attention to that trail over a course of however many minutes or hours. Just once in your life, just do it. Just do it. So I don't have to be like, dude, chemtrails are out there. What do you mean chemtrails? And then you show them all the trails and they're like, yeah, right. It's like, dude, just see it for your own eyes. Just look. That's all you gotta do. I mean, I'm not telling you to figure out the thought process in women, or the, you know, the secret to life, or why the Fibonacci theory is so relevant in every aspect of life. I'm not, or even everything really, but I'm not here to tell you the secrets to vibration or frequencies or anything like that. I'm telling you, just look up and see shit coming out of a plane and it doesn't disperse. And it just stays there. And what do they do with it? Is it manipulating the weather? What are they doing with it? Then you'll start asking those questions, and if you start asking those questions, you'll do your own research and you'll use your own brain, I assume. Just look, man, it's there. If you're not getting a bad feeling from chemtrails, I don't know what to tell you, because I just keep calling it chemtrails because it sounds crazy, right? But that's what it is. I don't have to sugarcoat nothing. I don't have to call it geo-engineering. It's fucking terrible. Fun fact, right? Over 1 million people a year die from going outside because of the poison and the pollution in the atmosphere. 1 million people a year die. That's more than guns. Well, minus wars, I think. But like, you know, like, it's more than a lot. I'll just put it that way. To put in perspective, sharks kill like 10 people in the world a year. Sharks kill like 10 people in the world, not just the US, not just Australia, 10 people in the world every year. Maybe that'll put something into perspective for you. And chemtrails kill 1 million. And it's only getting worse because we're continually dumping it into the atmosphere. They say that oxygen back in the 1930s was at an all-time high of what they found in the oxygen levels. Like, it was the most, you didn't have to have a full breath of air to get any oxygen. You just breathe a little bit. Today, people are having trouble breathing. Can I ask you how? If everything's not getting polluted by the shit. Now, you can say that, like, pollution's bad enough, but for CO2 emissions, just a quick reference, CO2 emissions, like what's coming out of your buildings and your nuclear plants and all that pollution, let's say just in terms of CO2 emissions, that's like nothing. That's close to absolutely doing nothing. Check out my video on climate change, my thoughts on climate change. But when you look at that, like specifically CO2 emissions, what causes it the most? What is that rise in CO2? It's actually specifically cows that have the highest CO2 emissions on this planet by far, more than any semi-truck, more than anything and everything combined. It's not even, it's about like 1/10 of what cows are. Everything that emits CO2 in the whole planet is about 1/10 when you combine it all up to what cows are. So I'm not really concerned as much about the smog in China as being the one that's killing me. Now, sure, that's not really good, and if you're living in China, that's terrible, but it's generally speaking not going to make its way to me, the other side of the world. It's going to hit the ground or be breathed in by everyone else and every fucking thing. I'm kind of joking by that. Of course, it does affect us, but not nearly as much as something that you're spraying everywhere in the world. It's not just the United States. I see people that take videos and stuff in Mexico and Guatemala and you know, in South America and Africa. And they got all the chemtrails too. You see the planes just spewing that shit out. Now, obviously, I didn't talk in depth on it. The only reason I wasn't planning on making a video today, I just wanted to get something off my chest that shit's pissing me off, and it was right in front of me. I was like, you know what? The sun's right there. It's blocking the sun, you know. The sun's trying to go down, and all I see is this haze everywhere in the sky, and it fucking bothers me. It bothers me, man. And we need to do something. And the only way we can do something is if people, instead of staring at their phones or dealing with whatever stressful bullshit that's in their life, take 10 minutes and just look up. Things will become clear that people aren't looking out for your best interests. It's going to come clear very quickly. Now, of course, if they ever get found out about and it's like mainstream, and let's say Donald Trump exposes chemtrails and has all the documents of the UN coming to the United States for weather manipulation or whatever, you know, creating super Frankenstorms and stuff. And Donald J. Trump exposed it, right? I still don't think that it's enough, because people will just say, you're wearing a tinfoil hat. And the problem is, you've never just looked up. It is literally that simple. It is literally that simple. You don't have to know what they're doing. You don't have to know how they're doing it. All you have to do is look up and see it for yourself. There's a new one. Right where I said it would be. See that one a little bit up? You'll see that new one. See it? It's a fresh one. It's the skinniest one. That's a fresh one. You see it getting longer? Watch that for about 15 minutes. It'll become as like these ones. See those ones? Those were just that skinny thing a minute ago, right? When I first showed you. I didn't pause or edit this video. Look at all that shit. All this chemical haze. This was those fucking 2 trails right there. See them? Those were the original 2 trails I showed you. And now there's a fresh one off in the distance. Just look at these shits. These are stuff that comes out of the plane. This isn't a natural... Oh, I definitely want to explain something real quick before I end the video. When I was a child, I was in 3rd grade. And in 3rd grade, I was taught how the formations of clouds happen. So, in the formation of clouds, they showed us the pictures and how it happens and everything, right? That's the formation of clouds. And they had like 3 different cloud types. Today, well, I looked it up like 2 or 3 years ago. I didn't see it recently, but I seen about 2 or 3 years ago when I was looking it up of what they teach kids nowadays on cloud formation, or not even what they teach kids, but I came across what they teach kids. How do clouds form? Just to think that maybe they might be trying to fuck with people nowadays who never knew how clouds actually formed. But in a children's textbook of like 2013, I think it was, in a children's textbook of how clouds form in earth science or whatever, was basically it comes from a little hazy shit. I'm now like, there was 3 types of cloud formations when I grew up. There's now a 4th or a 5th now, and one of them starts off at this haze that just becomes a bigger haze, and I'm like, what? That's fucking chemtrails. That's fucking chemtrails. It just comes out of the plane. How are you gonna call that a fucking cloud? How are you gonna call that a cloud? It bothers me, man, that they think you are that naive that as soon as your kids go to school, they're fucking brainwashing you. That's what's happening. They're brainwashing your children. Get your kids out of school. I am going to make a video soon about schooling. That I actually was planning on like weeks ago. Talking about Common Core, I'll talk about everything to do with schooling. It's a video coming up. Yep, beautiful skies, huh? I'm done annoying you guys. I just want you to look up. I just want you to see what I see. I'll make a way more in-depth chemtrail video. But this one's just a look up. I'll probably make that the title. Just look up. This is affecting my peace. This is affecting my longevity. This is even affecting my happiness. So that's why in my video I always say peace, love, happiness, and longevity. because those are the foundations of making yourself a very successful life. And with that comes knowledge. Without knowledge comes deceit. You need to see things with your own eyes, not in the eyes of a textbook, not in the eyes of your superior gods, through your own eyes. Because when you see things with your own eyes, things will start becoming clear. Just like Albert Einstein saying to go out into nature, stare at a plant for a little bit. Things will start coming to you. You'll start seeing things. That's enough for now. Peace, love, happiness, and longevity forever. I'm out. Peace. Beautiful skies.